Welcome to the first episode of Season 6's Wave episodes.
Absolutely seamless.
I can tell I've not done this for a while, can't you?
Yes, welcome. My name is Nick.
My name is Adam. How are you, Nick?
Very good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Happy to start a new season? Excited?
Delighted.
Excited?
Yes.
Season 6.
I know.
Madness. 3 years at the end of this one.
I don't know how that's happened.
No, not me.
Crazy. We'll be kicking off our movie show, won't we, this week?
This Thursday.
With Containment.
Indeed. The British movie that we were... I wasn't convinced. I didn't know it was British when I started watching it.
No.
Turns out it is.
Quite quickly became obvious.
Oh, yeah. It's very British.
Of its Britishness.
So, yeah, come check us out on Thursday for episode 1 of Season 6.
Yeah.
Movie shows.
Find out, will it be top of the stream?
I reckon it'll be bottom.
Okay.
And also top. How are you anyway?
Yeah, great.
We've had a week off.
I know.
We've been chilling for a week.
Yeah. We've both been like not at work.
Yeah, I had the week off work. You've been on holiday for a week.
Yeah.
It's been great.
Dodging rain showers somewhere else in the country, but that's fine. It was
you didn't choose the best week, but I suppose if you go on holiday in October, you can't do
what are you going to do?
It. Yeah, exactly.
Part of the fun. Yeah, I had a great time.
Good.
Feeling relaxed.
You look very relaxed and chilled.
Okay. Not even done my hair.
No, nor have I.
So,
Fuck it.
yeah.
I don't think I've done my hair for a week now.
Okay. We're getting like unplugged.
Yeah. It's like being back in lockdown. It's great.
Yeah, so I'm very excited to get going and see what this season holds for us in terms of movies. What's the randomizer going to give us?
Scary, isn't it?
Netflix is our oyster.
It is indeed. So, shall we do some news?
Let's do it.
Some newses. Do you want to start with this one?
Sure. I mean, we can't not mention this. We'll start on a bit of a tough one. But obviously, the big news item last week was the tragic killing of Helena Hutchins on the set of the Western Rust with a prop gun.
Yeah, terrible news.
I mean, it's completely tragic and thoughts to everyone involved, but I just goes to show, film sets, not the safest place.
Apparently not. Apparently, a couple of days before, all the crew had walked out because they didn't like the working conditions.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's all coming out now.
Yeah, so, I mean, this is going to develop over the next few weeks and months, but, I mean, we spoke just a couple of weeks ago, didn't we, about the accident that had happened on... It was a set of the Kevin Hart's new Netflix movie, where a guy had fallen from height. You got this incident, obviously, famously, Brandon Lee on The Crow.
Yeah.
And it's that old Swiss cheese kind of model, isn't it? How many things have to go wrong at the same time for something like this to actually happen?
Yeah, something's going to have to change in Hollywood, isn't it?
I mean, it's terrible.
The debate, I suppose, is there still a need to use like real guns?
Well, yeah.
When you can CGI these things in now, do you still need the
block of wood? Or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know. It's sad times. I can't imagine what Alec Baldwin's going through. It must be horrendous.
Well, him and everyone involved.
Well, yeah, but especially him. You just can't imagine it. And apparently, he's like one of the nicest guys in the world.
Sure,
so it's just a horrible thing to happen. Thoughts to everybody involved, I guess. I wonder if we'll ever see Rust.
Well, one would suspect not.
But we did see The Crow.
Yeah.
So who knows? Hollywood doesn't... It takes a lot for Hollywood to shut a film down.
Sure. Right, before we go on to Netflix news, let's do a couple more just general movie newses. We'll do it the other way around.
Let's do it.
Uncharted. The trailer for that hit a couple of days ago.
It did indeed.
This is a game I've actually played.
I've played all 4 of them.
I think I've played... Don't know if I played the first one. I've definitely played the last couple.
They're all really good. They're one of my favourite.
Oh, great fun.
One of my favourite game franchises of all time.
What did you think of the trailer?
I actually really enjoyed it.
Okay.
I'm not expecting anything from it. I'm expecting it to be popcorn nothingness. But it's all right. It's a bit of fun, isn't it?
I didn't really do much for me.
It doesn't do much either way, to be honest. I mean, it's got Tom Holland in it. It's going to be great. It's got Mark Wahlberg in it. It's going to be shit. There's one where it's going to balance itself out.
Yeah, I did watch the trailer and it was a bit just meh for me. I didn't
it's
really
a Saturday
see
Night
enough
Pizza and a Magnum film. That's all it is. I don't want anything more
And I
from
think
it.
maybe that's the key. Maybe people have got to manage their expectations.
Yeah,
Don't sit down expecting it to be the new Indiana Jones.
Not
'cause
every film's going to have got
even
to
the
be
new
that.
Indiana Jones isn't the old Indiana Jones.
Exactly. Not every film's got to be this massive epic franchise these days. Just have a bit of fun with it.
So I'm sure we'll see much, much more of that in the coming months. But
Me
yeah,
too.
I mean, I've got to be honest, Mark Wahlberg's a bit of a tough pill to swallow.
It really is. It's coming out in February.
Oh, so not long.
Not too long away.
Not long at all. We're actually getting it a week before in the UK to the States.
Oh yeah, that's weird.
So there you go.
Cool.
Ridley Scott. He's a busy man. Sorry.
He is a busy man.
Sir Ridley Scott.
So,
He's like 83
yeah.
and he's just released a new movie.
Yes.
The Last Duel, I believe it's called.
Yeah. I don't know. Is it out yet or is it coming soon? I think?
Yeah, it's imminent.
Before the end of the year, yeah.
He said he is now officially starting work on Gladiator 2.
I've heard bits about Gladiator 2 in the past.
What is interesting is he's not doing it next. So next he's doing a Napoleon movie.
Okay.
And then he's going to do Gladiator 2.
He's 83.
He's 83. It's 2 years a movie. Oh, fair play.
Wow, fair play to him.
Absolutely fair play. So he's potentially going to be like 85 before
Gladiator
Gladiator goes before the camera. I'm really interested. Gladiator is one of those movies, isn't it? Everyone's dad's got a copy.
Yeah.
I think Gladiator's fine, don't get me wrong. I don't really understand why it's held in such high regard. The reason I wanted to mention it because he's officially announced he's going to work on it, and there's now all these rumours because there was this quite famous script.
Yeah, about it being time travelling.
Yeah, that Nick Cave wrote years ago, as in Nick Cave from the pop star.
From the pop star.
The folk singer. And basically the premise is that Maximus is obviously dead. He died in the first one, spoiler
alert.
But he's gone to Roman heaven.
Valhalla? No, that's Vikings.
And all the Roman gods send him around in time to fight in wars.
It's a great idea.
Because he's like a super soldier, basically.
It's a ridiculous idea.
Absolutely.
But it's brilliant.
Bonkers. But you kind of want to see it.
I kind of want to see Ridley Scott do it.
And I really hope that that's the way they decide. I hope it's not just like son of Maximus going after revenge.
Or prequel or something.
Yeah. I want time traveling super soldier Maximus.
Same.
Slaying Nazis and Egyptians
Aliens
and you can go into the future.
That'd be amazing. It's not going to happen.
Go for it. No, it'll be. I'm sure it'll be some sort of stiff upper lip, takes itself far too seriously.
Ridley Scott film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's not what we want to see, Ridley.
It's not Ridley. Come on.
Give us a time traveling gladiator killing stuff.
Definitely.
We'll see. We'll see what happens. Netflix news.
Yes.
Now, another really light. But again, we can't not talk about this.
It's not.
This is the transphobia controversy that has dogged Netflix over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Because they released the Dave Chappelle special.
Yes.
And then the CEO of Netflix has shown absolutely zero leadership by not standing up for any of his employees whatsoever.
Yeah.
How does that happen?
I don't know. I don't really know. I don't know a lot about Dave Chappelle. I did listen to a podcast earlier this week, and it was the two guys from Cobra Kai.
Okay, yeah.
They're doing one. And they'd watched it.
Yes.
And they obviously know Dave Chappelle better than I do. And they were they weren't on his side, but they were kind of saying, you've kind of got to watch it before you can make a decision.
Sure.
Because it's Dave Chappelle is coming back at all these critics about his views and stuff. And it's his comedy show answering those criticisms he's had in the past.
I think.
So it's difficult. It's a difficult one.
I think it's tricky though because I have seen some of the clips from it, and some people. I tell you what's annoyed me more is that Dave Chappelle's one of the things he said was like gender is set.
Yes.
That's not really his. He hasn't really got a right to say that.
No, he hasn't. Nobody has.
Because he doesn't have to live with being under that pressure or that worry every single day in how the public may see you or how your friends or family may see you. And that's what annoys me about it. I've seen quite a few responses on social media, including some by people who I consider to be reasonably intelligent, normal people, and have sort of said, "Oh, is that all he said?" To which my response would be, you don't get to decide
No.
if that's offensive or not, because you're not a transgender person. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. It's finding that
If
line
people
between
find
sex
that
and gender,
offensive,
isn't it?
then that's offensive.
Yeah, exactly. But should he be cancelled just because people are finding what he says offensive? Or should Netflix be able to show controversial viewpoints from all angles? It's a really tough position they've got themselves
And
into.
I think there's something in there, but the reason the shit's really hit the fan in this is because the CEO has not dealt with this well.
It hasn't at all. Some of his statements are ridiculous.
Yeah, he basically put his feet in the sand, backed Chappelle, and went, "Well, I don't care what any of you underlings think."
Yeah, he'd walk out.
And even sacks one of the transgender employees. He's
Yeah.
since been reinstated, and the way they've dealt with it has just been absolutely appalling. I mean, if anything, you make a management decision like that and it causes 100 people to walk out,
you've got to question your decision. Yeah.
It's just been a disaster from start to finish.
Yeah.
You know, what do you do? Do you put some sort of tag before the show? I don't know. I tell you what, the most controversial thing for me is this hour-long special cost $24 million.
More than the whole of Squid Game.
I know.
They spent more than the whole of Squid Game on it.
It's just, what a mess.
It is
Absolute
it is a mess.
A PR mess.
I mean, Elliot Page has stood up for the staff, so I mean, if he's on board, then he's in that position to talk about it, isn't he? So
yeah, and so is like Dan Levy, and it's, you can't say people can't be offended by it. That's the thing.
No, that's the thing, isn't it? It's all right being on there.
As a this CEO, Sander Ross, isn't it?
Yeah.
As a rich, straight, white guy, it's not his place to say you shouldn't be offended by this. Because he doesn't walk in those shoes.
Exactly. It's not his position to say that. But you can understand why he's kept it on the platform and why he wanted it on the platform in the first place. Because you can't just have one.
Of course.
You've got to have differing views on there. It's like what Channel 4 have always done, isn't it? They've always been like the controversial broadcaster because they're prepared to show these controversial things. And you can't just have one side of an argument on that. At the same time, you've got to be sympathetic to your audience, haven't you? You've got to understand that it's going to offend people. Yeah. And that's just what it is, I suppose. It is what it is, but it isn't going anywhere.
But you don't, but
the way he's handled it.
Yeah, you don't deal with it. But you deal with it by saying, don't be offended by this.
No.
You don't get.
You've got no right to be offended by this when you can't tell people what to not be offended by. But it's a really tough subject. It's difficult.
I say good on the people who walked out.
Yeah, agreed.
You got to do what is right for yourself, haven't you?
Yeah. At the end of the day, transphobia is bad. That's a fact. Any sort of phobia, LGBT phobia, it's bad.
It's the sort of stuff we saw a lot. I'm going to get really controversial now, but you still see it now with like some of the politics. When especially public service broadcasts, well, we need to give both sides fair airtime. It's like, I'm sorry, you don't need to give like racists airtime.
No, it's true.
Because it's just wrong.
Yeah, it's as simple as that, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's not like you're giving Nazis an hour on the TV every week just to have their opinion. It's a tough one. It's a tough situation they've put themselves in. What's this?
Should we move on to some more light-hearted things?
This is the Daily Mail's website. Don't bring this.
Well, I tried to get this story from 3 other websites, and I would have had to sign up for them all.
Yeah, and I can't get on this one either.
That's fine. That's fine. So it may surprise you to find out that reality shows aren't all real.
That doesn't surprise me in the slightest.
Because we've mentioned this is quite a big hit show for Netflix, Drive to Survive. It's their F1 behind the scenes documentary. Well, Max Verstappen, who is currently the leader of the Formula One championships, so I'm told by this article because I don't watch Formula One, has come out and said he's not participating in this series or any future series because it fakes rivalries.
Wow.
This is like a massive story this week.
That's crazy.
I mean, isn't that just what all reality shows do?
Yeah.
I wanted to talk about this because I can't believe it's news.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, I suppose it's his world and it's the world that he lives in. And if they're saying to him, "Oh, you need to hate your best mate now," then you can kind of understand him going, "Fuck off! What are you talking about?" But at the end of the day, it's TV, isn't it? It's built for that sort of thing.
Yeah, sure. I know these guys.
All these people in Big Brother, they didn't hate each other. They just.
I know these guys are all like really competitive on the track, but I also know that a lot of them live in the same block of flats or next door to each other in Monte Carlo, and
they're all like best mates at the end of the day. You're just competing with friends, aren't they? They spend all their lives together, racing against each other. I mean, I'm sure there's some real rivalries out there. It does seem a bit weird that he would be surprised by that.
apparently one of the chief goals of this reality show is that F1 saw it as a way to increase their fan base in America, because they've been trying to crack America for years and years and years and years, and then obviously the sport itself isn't really taking them forward. So they're manufacturing this sort of fake drama.
Because that's what the world is that we live in these days.
Everything's
fake.
Reality show.
Yeah.
I just thought it was interesting that people were surprised by this.
That is a bit crazy. I can kind of see his point, but it's not like it's news.
Maybe he's never seen.
It probably hasn't. They just live in these like worlds of their own, don't they? I hate news websites. You have to allow them to show you adverts. It's disabled. You have to allow them to show you adverts. No, I can't go on this one.
Interestingly, last year, you may remember when, or it may have been earlier this year, I think it was earlier this year, when Army of the Dead came out.
Yes.
Netflix released it in cinemas 7 or 14 days before.
They did, yeah, briefly.
They have announced that they're repeating this for The Harder They Fall, which is the Western that comes out in a week or two.
Okay.
With Idris Elba, Jonathan Majors. I think it's part of that to get like an awards qualification as well.
It is it's not for the Oscars now, is it? The Oscars disabled that last year.
Yeah.
Where you don't need to have been in a cinema now. But I don't know if that was just for the COVID Oscars or what, I don't know. But there is a thing where you can't win some of the awards without being out in the cinema.
Well, as I say, The Harder They Fall, the Western that's coming out shortly, is going to have a limited release in cinemas, as is Red Notice.
Oh wow, that's quite a big decision to make.
It's pretty much Netflix's tentpole flick
for this year.
Yeah. It's Dwayne Johnson, Gal Gadot, and Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah,
comes out the same day in cinemas as The Eternals.
See, that's a mistake. Who releases against a Marvel movie? That makes me think that they don't care about its cinema performance. Yeah, they just got to get it out into a cinema for some particular reason.
So, and it's only 7 days before it hits Netflix.
Yeah, there's something there where they don't care about if you go to the cinema to see that or not, because nobody opens against Marvel. It's just a thing that you just don't do.
Exactly.
So if you're doing that, that's got to be some sort of award play.
It's got to be some fine print there somewhere, I think, to qualify for.
There's got to be some sort of award play there.
Because you imagine, say Netflix never existed, or just that movie is a studio movie.
Yeah.
Those three leading an action movie.
Yeah.
It's staying clear of anything else.
Yeah, 100%. It is. You
so
could open that. It's
going to do like I don't know, a couple of grand in the cinema for a week.
Yeah, you could open that in a cinema to big money, but Netflix obviously think they can make more money off it by putting it on Netflix. Yeah. It's bizarre, isn't it?
It is an odd one.
It is an odd one.
You've had all year to do it as well.
Yeah.
Just do it a couple of weeks later.
Yeah.
Same day as possibly one of the biggest movies of the year.
Probably will be the biggest movie of the year, let's be honest. I don't know. That's a weird decision. That's got to just be to grab an award.
To qualify
for some sort of award show. That's crazy.
At Millarworld, the first release from Millarworld onto Netflix was Jupiter's Legacy.
Yes. Good show that was unfortunately cancelled too soon.
Sure. So the second release will hit Netflix in November.
Okay.
It is an anime series called Super Crooks.
Good name.
Basically, it's about a group of villains putting a heist together.
Okay, sounds familiar.
Interestingly, not only are we getting an anime next month, Netflix is also working on a live action version, which we'll get next year. So we're getting the same property
twice
in totally different formats.
That's an interesting idea. I wonder why.
Different production companies. This is Japanese production by a Japanese director. So it's a proper anime, and I believe the live action one is not.
So it's like American.
Yeah.
That's interesting because that makes you think they'll get the super fan release when this comes out in November. The anime fans will watch this.
Yeah.
Then the film will come out next year. So they'll get the American fans watching the film. But then that will force them to go and then watch the anime as well. So you kind of get two audiences.
And you've bought the rights for this universe.
Yeah, so you might as well. That's an interesting way of doing it. Because you're going to get double.
Get as much bang for your buck.
In theory, you get 2 releases for this. The animation style looks quite nice.
Yeah, 13 episodes.
13 episodes, 30 minutes. Interesting. I might check that out. I don't watch a lot of anime, but that looks quite nice. It's like an interesting story as well.
Yeah. But, again, it will be interesting to see if that tactic is one that they repeat.
Yeah, definitely.
Because comic books obviously lend to that so much. You know, you can have this version of it, this version. It's just...
Right, you see how many different versions of Batman there are.
Yeah.
And things like that. Very interesting.
Super Crooks.
Super Crooks coming in November.
Netflix has ordered that 90s show. A
As in the
spin-off
spin-off of that 70s
of
show.
that 70s show.
From 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
The parents from the 70s show have signed up.
Kurtwood Smith's going to be in it.
Yeah.
Wow. And Deborah Jo Rupp. That's mad.
10 episodes have been ordered. This seems to be a bit...
That's come out of nowhere.
Why?
What?
Who's
Yeah,
asking
why
for
is the
this?
big question. What? I don't know how it's going to work because their kids are going to be like, if they were teenagers in the 70s.
Well, I think the synopsis is they're looking after their grandkids.
Oh, okay. So their kids are not going to be
Yeah,
in it.
the new series is set in 1995, and Leah Foreman, daughter of Eric and Donna, is visiting her grandparents for the summer, where she bonds with a new generation of kids under the watchful eye of Kitty and the stern glare of Red. Yeah, so she'd be staying with her
I
grandparents.
suppose that works. That's quite an
So
interesting
she's just
idea.
missing out everyone who went and got famous and cost too much money.
Or got really badly arrested
Yeah.
for being a
yeah.
paedophile or whatever he was. I don't know if that's what he was. Apologies if he's not. He was in one of our shows, wasn't he? One of our films.
Danny Masterson.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's up for like rape and kidnap, isn't he?
Is it what it is? Not a pedo.
Yeah. He's going to court later. Is it next year? We talked about this.
Yeah,
in the
we did.
episode
Yeah,
for
go
Urge.
back and watch
Go
the Urge
listen
episode.
to Urge.
Because it was things like Ashton Kutcher was in it, wasn't it? Mila Kunis.
Yeah, and
started
Topher Grace.
started a lot of careers, didn't it?
Yeah.
When you think about it. The bird from Orange is the girl from Orange is the New Black.
Yes.
Yeah, when you think about it, it's quite surprising how many careers started from that 70s show. But it used to be a great show, to be fair. So if they got that 70s show, Netflix, do they own that? Is that on?
I would assume that maybe that is in the pipeline. If they've got the spin-off, they're gonna surely be looking at trying to get the original.
You'd think
there.
so, yeah. You've got to kind of have both.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna look up.
I
if it is
don't
on
think
there.
he's on there now, but I stand to be corrected because it's not maybe something I've looked for. That pair have got to be getting on a bit now.
Yeah.
Although Kurtwood Smith looks like that forever.
Yeah, he has. He was in an episode of The Movies That Made Us.
Oh yeah.
Because he's in one of the horror films. Which one's he in? Is it Aliens?
I've not watched it. I don't.
Can't remember. He's in one of them, and he was interviewed on that Movies That Made Us. I can't remember which one it was. I'm gonna have to look that up.
Mind you, Deborah Jo Rupp was in One Division, wasn't she?
Yes,
And
she was.
pretty much looks exactly the same as well. To be fair.
She's been in loads of stuff.
Yeah, she always pops up. So does he. To be fair, I think he was in. Well, yeah, they're just two faces that always pop up every now and again.
RoboCop.
Of course
RoboCop,
he was.
isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew he was on. I've watched all of the Movies That Made Us. We'll get to that in a minute.
Cool.
But he was being interviewed in that. That's interesting. That 90s show's coming.
Would that interest you? Did you used to watch?
I did used to love that show, 70s show. I did used to watch a lot of it. So yeah, I would watch it definitely. I'm in the market for a 30-minute sitcom. So
90s nostalgia is a big thing at the minute.
It is. It really is. It's because 80s is now too far away.
Yeah.
So you need to get into the 90s nostalgia. But then the Goldbergs spin-off that went into the 90s, that got crashed and burned.
That did, yeah.
That got axed straight away.
And finally,
this is where you get the good news story.
a man inspired by Lupin has done a robbery
No way.
in France.
Oh no. Did it work?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
A guy attempted to rob. Sorry, it wasn't in France. It was in Milan.
That's not in France.
No,
That's in Italy.
He was inspired by Lupin. He attempted to rob the bar of a church.
Okay.
Donning a leather jacket, the 21-year-old said he waited for the church bells to ring so as to muffle the sound of him smashing through the glass door of the bar. He told police he had closely studied the slick and confident techniques of Assane Diop, who is obviously the lead character in Lupin. Problem is, he only got away with €21
A bottle of fizzy orange.
and a bottle of fizzy orange. And also, he had to call for help because he got so injured smashing his arm through the glass door. He was bleeding
What
out.
a moron. Oh, imagine bleeding out for a bottle of fizzy orange. Oh, amazing.
So it says that initially the guy concocted a story to say that he'd been attacked and robbed by 3 people, hence his injuries. But then he eventually broke down in tears in front of the police and confessed his guilt and said he was trying to be Lupin.
This article here says perhaps his plan's main flaw was his target. The man had reportedly robbed the oratory's barb a few years ago. He'd already broke in once. Oh, what a hero.
Absolutely my favourite story of the week.
that is a good
All
story.
for a bottle of fizzy pop.
Bottle of Tango. Are we newsed out?
Yeah.
That was good news.
Yeah, I really
Well
like that
done.
last one.
Yeah, that is good. Good. Considering you've been away for a week, you've done well there. Well done, because I hadn't got any.
Always got a finger on the pulse.
You have, don't you? Have you watched anything good at the top of the stream?
I've not watched too much, as you say. I've been away. I have watched. We sat and watched all of it as a family. Everyone got into it, which is
nice.
rare. That there is something that is cross generational, and also that my 2 children will sit and watch together. And it was on Netflix. We've watched Baking Impossible.
What is Baking Impossible?
So they make up this horrible new word called
Okay.
baconeering.
Oh, what's that?
Part baking, part engineering.
Oh.
So there's this reality show where there's, I don't know, 8 or 10 teams of pairs.
Yeah.
One's a baker, one's an engineer.
Okay.
And they have to just make increasingly difficult objects
Right.
out of mostly edible materials.
Like machines and stuff.
Yeah, so they have to
Okay.
make a boat that then has to do a 20-metre length in 45 seconds.
Right, okay.
They make a car at one point, a bridge.
cake?
Yeah,
Wow.
with working parts.
Oh, wow.
They have to do a robot that does an assault course. And it's quite good. Some of the creations are exceptional.
Really?
Some of them are absolute trash. And
That's what
There
baking shows
within-
are all about.
is the nub. And it's presented by the guy who is that magician who did
Paul Daniels.
the Netflix magician.
Oh, the guy who did...
Magic for Humans.
Yeah.
He presents it.
Oh, okay.
And it's quite fun.
I can't remember his name, but he's good. He's
Justin
entertaining.
someone.
Yes, it is.
Willman.
Yes, that's him.
Yeah. He presents it. And I think it's 8 episodes and it's quite fun.
Excellent.
You watch people crash their boats and cars and they have to
Cake.
build a whole city at one point and then they have to just do an earthquake test.
Oh, wow.
So you get like cake skyscrapers falling over, stuff like that.
Sounds good. No wonder your kids liked it. It
Yeah.
sounds destructive. They had destructive pair.
Pretty disposable, but it's kind of fun.
Recommend it?
I think you'd like it. You like cake.
I do. What are you trying to say? How rude. I do like cake.
And you like
Boats.
machines. So
I'll give it a go. I'll watch one.
how about you? That's pretty much it for me because, like I said, I've been
You've
away.
That's fair enough. I've not been away and I have been at home, so I've watched quite a lot.
Cool.
I've been to the cinema twice.
Oh,
Should we start
awesome.
there?
Yeah, why not?
I went to watch Dune?
Dune or June?
I don't know. I went to watch Dune.
Sun Dune. See, I'll get told off because I would lean towards a J, but I think that's probably wrong.
Well, that film with Timothée Chalamet in, I didn't like it.
Right, I'm going to have to take you to task here
Okay.
because I
I've been
don't
called-
doubt you didn't like it.
I didn't like it.
No, I know you didn't. That's fine. You're allowed not to like
I didn't
it.
hate it, but I didn't find it very
You're not a
entertaining.
sci-fi fan.
No, I'm not.
And this is like basically Lord of the Rings, but sci-fi.
It's Lord of the Rings meets Star Wars.
I think you'd be predisposed not to like it before you even walked in.
I tried to go in with no expectations.
I know you
I didn't
would
know
have
much
tried.
about what it was. Cheeky bastard. I got called contrarian earlier.
I just don't
I had to
think
look at what that meant.
I'm not surprised you didn't like it because I don't think this would be in
It's
your
not.
wheelhouse.
It isn't in my wheelhouse at all. It's not my sort of thing. I like epic cinema,
Sure.
and it's just not what it thinks it is. It thinks it's epic cinema. And it
Well, that's
isn't.
interesting because all I've seen is 5-star reviews.
Yeah,
and
same.
This looks beautiful.
Absolutely same. And it does look beautiful.
Oh,
and
that's something positive.
There's beautiful. It's full of beautiful people. Zendaya's in it. Timothée Chalamet's in it. I just didn't find it that entertaining. There was nothing happening. There was nothing keeping me enthralled in it. And I wasn't the only one. The people I went with didn't like it either.
Fine. I will get to it at some point.
But there will be people out there that absolutely love it. I'm
Sure.
sure of it. And I completely understand that.
Okay.
I get that. I didn't hate it. I just didn't think it was all that. Then I went to watch Halloween Kills last night,
Right.
which is fucking brilliant.
I have a feeling if I went to see these two movies, I'd have two very different reactions.
I couldn't agree more. I liked Halloween Kills mainly because it's so shit.
Oh, right, okay.
It's, you know what I'm like with shit horror films.
But it's not supposed to be shit,
No,
is
it's
it?
not. No, and the 2018 one wasn't, and it really went for the Halloween theme.
Sure.
This one seems to, they've just gone, fuck it, let's just do a really cheesy slasher film.
Fine.
It's the cheesiest thing I've seen in ages.
Well, and that's fine if you can get on board with it.
I thoroughly can get on board. There's a lot of Halloween fans that can't get
Is
on
that
board
why a
with
lot of
it.
people have come out and gone, oh, this
Yeah.
is not what I thought it would be?
Yeah, because it doesn't even match up with the last one. It's,
Okay.
Jamie Lee Curtis spends the whole film in bed. She
Okay.
barely gets out of bed. She's in hospital. She gets stabbed at the end of the last one. So she spends that, because it literally follows on from the end of the last one.
Sure.
The scenes just match up. It's a proper sequel.
That's all.
Yeah. And then it's laugh out loud funny at some points, just because of how bad the dialogue is. There's one guy in it, and I couldn't not laugh at him every time he said it. Every time he spoke, it was just stupid. It's so bad.
John Carpenter will be turning in his bed. He's not dead.
He's not dead. I wonder what you were going with that.
He'll just be turning around.
You're thinking of Wes Craven.
On the pavement.
There's some really nice images of it. The image when Michael walks out of the burning house and his mask's all burnt on one side, that's one of the best images I've seen in cinema for ages. It just looked beautiful. But it is so stupid. It's laugh out loud.
There's another one coming, isn't it?
Yeah, Halloween Ends comes out next October.
I would have thought so, yeah.
Because they were supposed to be last October and this October. Because of COVID or whatever, they pushed them both back a year.
Okay.
So yeah, Halloween Ends is the third in this trilogy. And apparently the end. But we'll see. There's not many of them left. So yeah, I went to the cinema twice. I also watched a film on Netflix last weekend. I watched Till Death.
Okay, which one's this?
It is Megan Fox.
Right.
Is that right?
That she is a person.
She is a person. Is she the person in this film?
I don't know. I'm not sure I've heard of this movie.
Oh, then you're in for a treat.
Okay. Is this what I need to watch this evening?
It's got Megan Fox in it.
Okay.
Which doesn't sound like my sort of thing, but the synopsis intrigued me. And I don't usually get intrigued by synopsises and then think, I'm going to watch that.
Fine.
So I think it only came out last weekend as well. Would you like to know the premise?
I really would now. I'm intrigued.
So you know Gerald's Game?
Yes.
This film we've discussed. It just seems to come up on this podcast
It
so
does,
much. It's a very similar idea to that. So
Okay.
it's this couple's wedding anniversary. He's a high-flying businessman.
Right.
She is a stay-at-home wife, spends all his money kind of
Got ya.
deal. They've got a cabin in the woods in the middle of nowhere. It's snowing. So they go to try and rekindle their marriage for their anniversary.
Right. Yeah. So far, so standard.
So they have a steamy night of passion. And then she wakes up the next morning and he's handcuffed himself to her
Okay.
by a chain, but like a chain handcuff.
Hmm.
And then he shoots himself in the head.
Oh, lovely.
So she's now stuck in this cabin in the middle of nowhere, handcuffed to a dead body. And it's about her trying to get out of this situation, but he's also hired 2 people to come in and try and kill her.
What a horribly nasty and inefficient way to try and bump someone off.
Or ridiculous is what it is. He's taken all the knives and everything out of the house.
Okay.
So she couldn't she couldn't do anything. And all the way through, I'm like, just smash his hand up. He's dead. Literally smash his hand up, pull the handcuffs off and you're sorted.
You're gone.
Yeah, there's glass vases, there's glass picture frames everywhere. You'd just cut his hand off if you wanted to.
Yeah.
Cut his thumb off. It's ridiculous, but it's good fun.
But why has someone gone?
Apparently his businesses were in trouble and he'd got no money and he was in debt. And so he wanted to kill himself and he wanted to take her down with him. She'd done something that he didn't like.
But,
I don't want to give too much away.
No, that's fine. But I more mean even in the making of this movie, who watches like Gerald's Game or reads it and then watches that really good adaptation and goes,
I can do that any worse.
well, I'm just going to do this, but make it a bit shonkier. It's true what they say, isn't it? There's no new ideas.
There's not. It's 100.
And Gerald's Game, it's only what, 4 years old?
Yeah,
Something like that?
2016, I think.
5,
4 or
maybe
5.
5.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know if that's the influence, but it's definitely.
Well, even if it's not, it's
a
pretty
coincidence.
freaking similar.
Yeah. So she's dragging this dead body around everywhere with her for the first 3/4 of this film.
Okay.
And she needs to get down the stairs, so she just throws the dead body down the stairs.
Just like ride him.
She
Like
throws it, not thinking about what's going to happen, and then just follows it down.
So it's stupid. She's
an idiot.
She's stupid when the plot needs her to be stupid.
Yeah, and then these two guys turn up and they're stupid as well, and one wants to kill her and one doesn't, and they've been hired. There's money in the house. There's a safe they've got to try and get into, and she's the only one who knows the code.
I think I'm out. To be
Yeah,
honest.
Ross watched it. He thought it was really good. I watched it. I thought it was all right. It's stupid fun. Oh, I couldn't get past the fact that just smash his hand up
Sure.
because you don't have to. It's not like she has to deglove herself like the woman in Gerald's Game had to. She's got a dead body there. You can do whatever you want with it.
Yeah.
Just break it up and get the handcuff off. Just pull the handcuff really hard You're going to break stuff and rip skin, but he's dead. You don't care.
Exactly.
It's so stupid. She went to look for a knife. There wasn't any because he took them all, and then she just gave up. Then, so she just carried him around.
All right, because nothing else couldn't be sharp.
Yeah, it was. It's silly. It's really silly. As briefly mentioned, I also watched The Movies That Made Us.
Yes.
I've watched season 3 of that. I watched all of them.
I will get to those this week.
They are very good. Some are better than others, as always. There's always going to be that, isn't there? So
I'm glad to hear it seems to have improved from the last batch.
100%, yeah, it was a lot better than the last batch. So they're all horror films, except for Coming to America.
Yeah.
Which and RoboCop, is RoboCop a horror film?
No.
No. Okay, so but apart from those two,
I would say it's a
you've got
satire.
You've got Halloween, which was the best one.
Okay.
You've got Friday the 13th, which was good as well. And you've got The Nightmare on Elm Street. They're the main 3. Aliens, Coming to America, and RoboCop.
Okay.
I think that's it. Some are better than others. The Halloween one was my favourite, but Halloween's my favourite horror film. So
I read just an update from our bonus episode last week.
Yeah.
I did take Robert Englund's book.
Oh, did you?
From your shelf.
You did,
You
yes.
gave it to me.
I did,
Don't
indeed.
say like I snuck it out.
I meant, did you read it? Not did you take
And I
it?
did read it.
And what did you think?
It was really
It's
interesting.
good, isn't it?
Really interesting.
It's called Hollywood Monster, if anybody wants to check
Yeah.
it out. It is really good.
And it's a bit like, because it ends, it's a bit old now, isn't it? Because it ends
Yeah.
just after like Freddy versus Jason. But what an interesting guy.
Yeah, fascinating guy. Really, really. He's in that episode as well. He's interviewed in that episode.
Proper Shakespearean background and
Yeah.
everything.
They took him off Broadway to film to be Freddy Krueger.
Yeah. It's quite interesting because he was like, he was lucky enough to work with some really big historical, like old time Hollywood names.
Yeah.
And then also sort of came
Getting
through
to the new generation as
came
well.
up and he was mates with like Michael Keaton and Mark Hamill.
Yeah.
And it's really interesting.
Really interesting guy. There's a good episode as well, actually, the
Yeah.
Friday the 13th.
I'll check that out.
You don't realise how different those three films are classed as like the 3 big horror films, but they're all so different.
Sure.
So there's no blood or gore or anything in Halloween, but then Friday the 13th is just a blood and gore fest, and then Nightmare on Elm Street takes that to the next level. It's really interesting. Coming to America episode's really good. Considering I don't really like that film,
Yeah.
I don't like Eddie Murphy. It's actually really interesting because John Landis is a dick.
Yeah.
He's just a dick, and he wouldn't even introduce himself. He came out, he sat down, and he's
I'm
like,
surprised he did an interview for it. To be honest.
'cause he doesn't go out into the public eye very often for obvious reasons.
The guy is
The triple murderer.
talk about a shady past. Oh my god.
So, Coming to America was done. It was filmed, and then him and Eddie Murphy had a massive fist fight on the set. And he tells the story of that, but he tells a completely different story to what the producer tells, to what the assistant director tells. Eddie Murphy's not interviewed in it, but
I was just going to say that's a really unfortunate circle that we've come back around to in this episode of on-set deaths.
yeah, they do talk about the Twilight Zone, wasn't
Yeah.
it? They do talk about that and how tragic. And he went to court for that. He was arrested and went to court for that. If you want to read more about, maybe we could do one of those mini episodes on the Twilight Zone.
That'd be a good one to do, actually.
'Cause that story is crazy.
We'll do it. I'll
Do some research on the story of the making of the Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
Cool. And Squid Game. I started Squid Game.
Oh,
Finally.
How far you
I've done 5.
first? No, that's more than halfway. Halfway impressions.
Good. I'm actually really enjoying it.
It's good, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Is it great?
No.
Exactly.
But it's good.
Yeah.
It's entertaining. It's fun. Every time an episode finishes, I want to watch the next one. So,
But
yeah.
it's no. And I'm similar. I enjoyed it. It's a bit ropey in parts.
The dialogue's terrible, and I
Yeah,
don't know
yeah.
if that's the subtitles or the actual writing, but
But there's nothing there to take it to this stratospheric
I
level.
don't see where that's come from.
I can't make the connection myself.
Alice in Borderland's better.
Yeah.
Alice
I
in
agree.
Borderland is a
I
better
agree.
TV
I
show.
said this a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, you did, and I've seen that's now like trending on Twitter.
Yeah.
People are going to that, which is if Squid Game can make people watch that, then that's a bonus for us.
Fair dues.
Because we found that show. But no, I'm enjoying it. It's good. The tug of war episode was the best, I think.
Yes.
I thought I really enjoyed that. Gogglebox fucked me off.
Why? What did they do? They've been watching it.
They've been watching it, and it's not a spoiler to say that the tug of war episode has a cliffhanger in the middle.
Hey, good one.
Hey, I didn't even spot that, but it does though, doesn't it? When they step forward,
Yeah.
the episode finishes.
Yeah.
And then the next episode starts at exactly the same place. Gogglebox told that story as if it was one episode.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they didn't. So I'd seen it up until that cliffhanger. So I was like, oh, I'm all right, because I always skip forward Gogglebox if it's something I've not seen. So I was like, oh, I've seen this. I've already watched this. They won't go past the cliffhanger. And they went past the cliffhanger as if it hadn't even been there. Really naughty. I've never known them doing that before.
What is this with spoilers?
Gogglebox is terrible for spoilers. Apparently, the episode that was on Friday, don't watch it if you've not watched You yet, because they give a twist away at the right in the beginning.
Gogglebox is, like, for our international listeners, you may have a version of the show. Probably. It's where normal people sit and you watch people watching TV, and it's their reactions to movies, TV shows.
It's basically what we do. Me and you would be great on Gogglebox. We should do that. We should apply. They're after new people. People keep dying.
I don't want to. So I apply the next Halloween. I could totally forgot what I was going to say.
Sorry.
No, it's fine.
You were just explaining what Gogglebox was.
No, I was going to come back to spoilers. That's what it was. Right. I'm not going to go into detail here for obvious reasons. Why are they feeling we can spoil this like that?
Yeah.
And also, have you heard all this Eternal stuff this week?
Yes.
What is going on there? So a movie that isn't even coming out for 2 weeks had its premiere, and I'm doing inverted commas, journalists decided that they would spoil
scumbags
an end credit scene. And then Marvel came out and go, we didn't show the end credit scene. And it's like, well, someone's lying.
One of you's lying. Well, when it comes out, we'll find out who was lying, I guess, unless they change that end credit scene now. But it seems a bit late to be doing things like that. But yeah, it's really bad. Journalists who...
Or more likely, they didn't show it, but the journalists had to tip off anyway.
Yeah, that's probably what's happened.
And it's gone with... Blah, blah, blah.
That's probably what's happened. I mean, we spoil the films that we watch, but we make no bones about that. That's what we're here for. We talk about these films and we recommend that you watch them before you listen to the show. Sure. But
plus, some of them are like 20 years old.
Yeah, and some of them are shit. Most of them are shit.
Do you a favour.
Yeah, we're stopping you watching them. But intentional... Gogglebox are terrible for it.
Wouldn't spoil something that is currently at the cinema.
No.
And we've deliberately not gone into detail with stuff like Squid Game.
Yeah.
Because I know people who are watching it and will listen and are listening to this.
It's really difficult to avoid doing it, but it's just a service you have to do, isn't it? It's like, apparently this week they spoil You quite badly. And I'm like, that literally came out on Thursday.
Yeah.
So why are you spoiling that on Friday? It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And
I'm surprised Netflix haven't something to say about that as well, to be honest.
It's all right spoiling things like Coronation Street or EastEnders, because that's just on all the time. People don't watch Netflix shows on the day they come out. I've got 4 lined up now.
Yeah, sure.
Lock and Key's come back.
Yeah.
I need to watch that, but I've not finished Squid Game yet.
No, and I won't get to
and I want to watch.
I was looking at Lock and Key last night. I was like, no, because I've still not finished Midnight Mass. So I've got
definitely
3 episodes of that left, and then I'll move on to something else.
So do I watch You or do I watch Lock and Key? And then there's shitloads more coming out over the next few months. So people don't watch stuff the day they come out.
Just don't watch Gogglebox, I know.
But I really like Gogglebox. But it's really, I really do enjoy Gogglebox, but it's really difficult to avoid spoilers from it. They're terrible for it. Anyway, that's my Gogglebox rant over with. I think that's it. I don't think I've watched anything else.
That's a good batch.
Yeah. It's been a good week. I've still not seen the finale to Superstore because I can't find the last episode anywhere.
So
it's really annoying. I've literally got the last episode to do and I can't find it. Pissing me right off.
Just have to keep looking.
I am going to keep looking. Oh, I've also finished what's the one on Disney Plus? Only Murders in the Building.
Oh, me too. I've not put that on the notes. I finished last night. I watched the last 3.
I watched the last 2 the day before yesterday.
I thought it was brilliant.
I did as well.
That silent episode.
It was amazing.
Unbelievable.
I couldn't believe how good that was because I was
I was on the edge of my seat.
They did, for people who have not seen it, there's a whole episode where there's no talking in it whatsoever.
I think it's episode
6, 5 or 6.
Yes.
One of those 2.
Yeah, it's in the last 3 or 4.
And there's no talking in it at all until the very last line.
Gripping.
It's so good. It's probably the best episode because more happens in that episode than in any of the others.
I thought the finale was excellent.
Yeah, the finale was excellent
because they kind of do a pun that wouldn't it be great if we had a cliffhanger? And then they generate this cliffhanger. And I was like,
it's really clever.
I'm in for season 2.
It's been recommissioned for season 2 as well. I was reading.
And Steve Martin's comedic performance in the last episode when
it's proper.
When he's been drugged.
Proper old school 80s acting, isn't it?
Is
Steve Martin
so funny when they fold him up in that little chair.
That's Steve Martin all over. That's what he used to do, isn't it? That's what made him famous.
I said this before. It's been a genuine pleasure to see him in something good.
Yes, agreed.
I'd really recommend that show.
Same, me too. I really, really would. I've watched a lot of TV this week. I've also watched The Cleaner on the BBC iPlayer,
Oh, yeah.
which is Greg Davis' new sitcom.
That.
Have you seen that as well?
Yes, I mentioned this about 3 weeks ago that I'd watched 2 or 3 episodes.
So you've seen them all?
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah, it's good.
Absolutely brilliant. Really enjoyed it. I've watched loads of stuff this week. I've literally had the laziest week ever. So yeah, I watched all that. It was really good.
Excellent.
I did, however, forget to watch one thing until about an hour before you came around.
Oh, dear.
So we need to extend our rods for the first time of this season.
Let's do it. I'm out.
You're out?
Yeah.
I thought you meant you're out. I'm not talking about it.
My rod's out.
So we picked a new TV show to watch for the Extending the Rods feature, where we just watch an episode of a show a week.
Yeah.
Talk to you about it on here. We chose a TV show called Betaal, which is an Indian zombie TV show.
Yeah.
I completely forgot to watch it until I texted you and said, you can come round now. And then you were like, no, you can't. I was like, no, you can't. I've not watched Betaal yet. So I had to put you off for 45 minutes while I watched it. I slipped my mind completely. I'm not going to lie.
I barely managed to do it whilst I was away in a couple of sections.
What did you think?
I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I did. It's a really good start.
I feel like...
I don't know how there's a story for 4 episodes of it.
Yeah, because was mentioned in the... Obviously, if you join us on... Well, maybe not obviously. If you join us in our Discord, we have got a room in there just to dedicate it to Extending the Rod, so you can have a bit of a chat about this show.
Or any of the others we've already seen.
Yeah. As mentioned in there, is there enough story to sustain this for 4 episodes? It did feel like a movie.
It did, yeah. It was filmed really nicely.
So, what happened?
I don't know. One thing I will say, it was very dark.
It was, yes.
You can't make out.
Dark.
You need to watch it with no lights on, because they're in a cave. So basically, there's a construction company trying to build a road through a village.
Yeah,
and the villagers don't want this road there.
They're protecting this tunnel.
Yeah, there's a tunnel
which they've
there,
boarded up. It's been boarded up for generations.
So they've been. What's the word I'm looking for? They're protecting this tunnel.
They're the guardians.
They're the guardians of this tunnel, and nothing can open it. That's their thing. But
there's an evil inside.
Yes, that's what they say. And then
the army turn up with a load of bulldozers. And kill them all.
and basically kill all these villagers
and open up the tunnel.
And then death ensues. People start dying.
Sure. So, but I thought this was quite interesting because it wasn't what I was expecting. In that, when we read the synopsis and stuff, it talked about how. So I thought that was the story, but it talked about how it was an English, British colonial troops were trying to enter the tunnel. Well, actually, that's not where it's set so far.
No,
because we are getting spoilers because that's the whole point of this. This is like the book club. So some of those zombies / demons in there are these ye olde British soldiers.
Yeah.
So they've previously tried to take this tunnel, didn't they, from these villagers? So yeah, we left this with our sort of heroes being shot at by
muskets,
demon, zombie English soldiers.
Yeah, zombies with guns.
Yeah,
it was a lot higher budget than I was expecting.
It looked great.
It did look great
in the dark, but great.
Yeah, it was very dark.
I did properly jump when that soldier's like, look up there on the ceiling, and the like demon vampire just jumped at.
Yeah, there's loads of them just there in their like red Confederate costumes and stuff. No, it was a lot higher budget than. Did you watch the subtitle?
Yes,
I watched the dub. I'm not going to watch the dub, but I did for this one.
I did a bit of both because the dub is very different to the subtitles.
Oh, is it? Okay. Well, the dub, also, a lot of it isn't dubbed. So the first 10 minutes is all subtitled anyway.
Okay.
And then there's a bit in the middle where that's all subtitled.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. I don't think I'll continue watching the dub. It was just because I was in a rush and I was like, I need to get this watched. And it was just easier than reading it. Plus, I've been watching Squid Game. I've done a lot of reading lately. But yeah, it was all right. The dub was okay as well. It was Indian people doing the dub, so it didn't sound ridiculous with...
Yeah, when that guy like stumbles out the tunnel with his insides hanging out, I was like, oh, I wasn't expecting.
Yeah, it was a much higher budget than I was expecting. I think it's going to be good.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm excited for it.
It's only 4 episodes, so...
We'll get it done in the next 4 weeks. We'll see what we
Strong recommend for me.
Yeah, same so far. Check out episode 2.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it on next week's wave.
It's just not been enough talk. It's pretty full on. So there isn't much in the way of characterization. You've got like rich man wants to build road.
Yeah. Army woman wants to kill loads of people.
Yeah. Army second in command is a bit unsure about killing people.
Yeah.
But wants to progress up the ranks.
Rich child.
Yeah, they're all a bit
Yeah.
at this stage. They're a bit thin.
I
But
really
we'll give it.
I really enjoyed the news report.
Oh,
They did like a debate interview on the news, and he just calls the bloke scumbag.
Yeah.
He's like, "You're left-wing scum," and then it finishes. I'm like, that's amazing. I'd love to see that on the news. But yeah, no, it's good. I really enjoyed it. So check out episode 2, and we'll come back next week to talk about episode 2 on here, I guess.
We certainly will.
All right, what's the film we're watching this week?
Containment.
We've done that, haven't we? So
Back here on Thursday.
come back here on Thursday to check about Containment. It's a British stuck in a house lockdown movie, which is just what we needed. And come back then, and we'll talk about that.
Sure will.
We done?
I'm out.
I'm out too. Bye.
Cheers.